We are starting section 3. Starts on page 18. We're not going to cover everything out of section 3. Some of the stuff I don't think you really need. You should have by now. Shouldn't have to go over some of the stuff that's in there. This is pretty solving equations should be well covered in Algebra 1, so it shouldn't be any problem for you. First thing we will cover briefly is writing equations or expressions out of verbal sentences. Look in there at example 1. 3 times the square of a number. So you're going to be given these sentences that you need to put into expressions. So what are we always going to put in when it says a number? X or any other letter that you choose. Doesn't matter. But this is your variable. I usually use X. Anywhere is fine, whatever you want to use, doesn't really matter. So we got 3 times, which would mean what? What? 3. Yeah, you're ahead of me. Times, what operation is times? What I'm getting at. Multiplication, so we're going to be taking 3 times the square of X. So how would you write the square of X? X squared. Really, it's kind of elementary when you think about it. Pretty much you're just going to write out what it says. 3 times the square of X, we've got X squared, and we need 3 times this. Okay, most of the time these are pretty simple. Some of them can be a little tricky. Three times the difference of a number and 8. 3 times the difference of a number and 8. What would be the difference? What's the difference mean by operation? What? Difference is subtraction. So if you're defining the difference between a number and 8, how would you write that? X minus 8. That would be the difference between a number and 8. Now, what you have to be careful of here is it's 3 times that whole part. So what do we need to do? Use parentheses. So it's 3 times the difference of a number and 8. So you got to put that difference in parentheses. 3 times that whole thing. One that oftentimes causes problems when it says less than 3, this will be an easy one. 3 less than a number. The reason this one's tricky is because that looks like the 3 would come first. What is less than? What operation is that? Subtraction again. And it looks like you would do 3 minus X, 3 less than a number. A lot of kids will do that. That's not what it says. It says 3 less than X. So you have your X, or your number, whatever it is, and you're doing 3 less than that number. So you're actually subtracting the 3 from the number, or X. Okay, so watch out for the less than. The properties on the next page, those are the things we're not going to cover. So flip on over to page 20, and we're just going to do some solving equations examples, and you'll be on your way. Inverse operations is what those properties we're basically talking about, which you should be well familiar with already. If it's plus, you're going to subtract. If it's minus, you're going to add, and so on. X plus 4.39 equals 76. It's basic algebra 1 problem here. So we have the X over here in algebra 1. I have them draw a line down through there to split it into two parts. You definitely don't have to do that. If it helps you, by all means do so. But you got your X here. When we're solving, we've got to get this X by itself. We got to get rid of this plus 4.39, so what would be the inverse? Subtract 4.39 from both sides. We should all be typing that in, and somebody give me the answer. What? 71.61. Okay, pretty simple. That's a one-step problem. 2/3 X equals negative 18. All right, these are a little more tricky. What operation is going on right there? Multiplication. So what would you have to do? The opposite would be what? Divide by 2/3. But what's the rule about dividing fractions? Yeah. You're not going to divide by 2/3. I know your calculator will do this correctly for you because your calculator knows that's actually not possible and it multiplies it for you. Anytime you've got a fraction that you need to get rid of, you're not going to divide by the fraction. You are going to multiply the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 2/3? 3/2. This is how I write it. You just put that out to the side to show you are multiplying that reciprocal, and that cancels, and you would type that in your calculator. 18 times 3 divided by 2. What's the answer? Negative what? 27. Just another quick one of those. You don't have to write down. Same thing. So what are we going to do here to get rid of this 3/5? Multiply by 5/3. It's negative. Make sure you do that. That all cancels. X equals what? -30.